Straight ahead on CCX News, local city officials reveal their top legislative priorities. The one priority they all have in common. Plus, a New Hope police officer honored his life-saving actions that nearly cost him his own life. And later, a hotel boom. From Brooklyn Center and Brooklyn Park to Maple Grove. What's driving the new development? CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The start of the 2018 legislative session is less than a month away, and cities are making their final pleas for assistance to local lawmakers.
Yeah, every city has its own unique set of requests, but as Delane Cleveland reports, there is one issue that city officials in the Northwest Metro are rallying around.
It's amazing actually get to hear all the stories that the cities have.
Saturday morning, a who's who of local government leaders gathered in Crystal for the annual legislative breakfast.
It's huge because of the networking. We get to network with the other mayors, we get to network with the councils, with the legislators, and just all the people that come to these meetings. It's really a big deal.
New Hope Mayor KATHI HEMKEN joined her counterparts from Golden Valley, Brooklyn Park, Crystal, and Robbinsdale for an opportunity to let state lawmakers know what they want in this year's legislative session, and each city has unique requests. For New Hope, it's money for a 50-meter swimming pool.
And we need about $2 million extra to make that swimming pool from a 25-yard to a 50-meter pool. So we've asked the legislature for $2 million in the bonding bill. Haven't heard yet, but that is our major priority for this season.
And in Golden Valley, one of their big needs is a pedestrian underpass under Highway 55 near the Perpich Center for Arts Education.
So that commuters and students can safely cross, in this case under Highway 55, as opposed to dangerously crossing Highway 55.
But the one common denominator linking all of the cities is the status of the Blue Line Extension project.
We really want to make sure that we get everything checked off the list that needs to be checked off the list at the state capitol to make sure that that can go forward on the federal level.
The Metropolitan Council chair was present to address that issue.
I think about 8 or 9 of the miles are co-located with a freight railroad. And one of the big next steps is to obtain approvals from the railroad to co-locate in their corridor.
In other words, the process is ongoing, but people here say they'll keep fighting until a light rail train is moving down Bottineau Boulevard.
Our goal is to be a ceaseless advocate for the Blue Line, and that we remain focused on that. We don't worry about jumping ahead or jumping behind. We want Blue Line now.
In Crystal, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
State lawmakers say the bonding requests were upwards of $4 billion. The governor's bonding recommendation was around $1.5 billion. It'll be up to the state lawmakers to decide how many projects to approve in this year's session.
This week, you can ask questions and weigh in on the federal tax overhaul. The sweeping changes approved by Congress at the end of 2017 roughly doubles the standard deduction for individuals and married couples. However, higher tax states like Minnesota will be greatly impacted. That's because filers who itemize can no longer take unlimited deductions. Starting this year, state and local tax deductions are capped at $10,000, and it's uncertain how Minnesota lawmakers will change the state tax code to match federal tax law. Senator Paul Anderson of Plymouth will lead a town hall on tax changes that takes place Wednesday at 7 p.m. at Plymouth City Hall.
Meanwhile, Senator Anderson is among several lawmakers who plan to introduce legislation to combat child sex trafficking. Anderson describes the legislation as a small but common sense step to educate students. The bill modifies current child sex abuse prevention curriculum to include sexual exploitation prevention. Students from Hopkins High School inspired the bill after they witnessed one of their classmates being trafficked.
Some sad news out of the ski events taking place in Wirth Park in Golden Valley. The executive director of the Lopet Foundation says a skier from Russia collapsed and died Friday while participating in the Masters World Cup, an event for skiers age 30 and older. CCX News was at Friday's competition, the final day of the week-long cross-country event. We're told the skier was taken to North Memorial Medical Center in Robbinsdale, where he was pronounced dead. The cause of the death has not been released. Well, what's the first thing that comes to mind if you see a burning vehicle in a ditch?
It's probably not jumping into the vehicle, knowing the flames could spread at any moment. But that's what happened to a New Hope police officer in a situation where he didn't know what to expect.
To protect citizens and make sure they stay safe regardless of the situation.
That's why K-9 officer Miguel Robles wanted to become a cop in the first place. He's an 11-year veteran of the New Hope police force. Last July, he got a chance to fulfill his duty in an unexpected way. It was 3 a.m. when New Hope police received a call about an erratic driver on Highway 169 near Bass Lake Road.
He ended up right, you can kind of see where the debris is there.
Debris and tire tracks still marked the spot in the ditch where a driver had gone well off the road.
I saw a van in the ditch with the engine revving. So we went to investigate and found a driver unconscious in the vehicle.
Robles says they weren't sure what to expect. Given the time of day, it was likely a drunken driver, but revving the engine caused another problem.
Flames were coming out from underneath the engine compartment, and we needed to get him out sooner than later.
It turned out the man was having a medical issue with his foot pushing down the accelerator. Meanwhile, flames were spreading and the man had to be pulled out quickly.
We were a little nervous, a little cautious, but it needed to be done because the fire was quickly engulfing the car. So I didn't even really think about it, just got in there and got him out.
But it was a close call.
At one point, his rigid body got caught up on the armrest, forcing Officer Robles to climb into the burning car to free him. Just after pulling the driver out, the entire vehicle burst into flames.
Last week, Officer Robles was awarded the department's Lifesaving Commendation.
I was happy, humbled at the same time. You know, in all honesty, it's nothing that one of my partners wouldn't have done also if they were, there at the same time.
Robles knows it could have been worse.
He could have perished in the fire, but luck was on our side.
Officer Robles was one of 2 New Hope officers, along with 2 private citizens who were recognized with life-saving awards from incidents last year.
Some military families in the northwest suburbs received a boost thanks to a popular fundraiser. On Sunday, about 50 people showed up at the New Hope Bowl to help military families in Golden Valley, Crystal, New Hope, and Robbinsdale. The event supported Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Quad Cities. It ended up raising $2,400.
Groceries, gift cards to Cub and gas cards. We've put in a couple wheelchair ramps for residents in the area. We've helped with somebody that needed a new water heater that couldn't afford it. Utility bills, veterinarian bills, lawn mowing, like snow plowing.
New Hope, Crystal, Robbinsdale, and Golden Valley became Beyond the Yellow Ribbon communities in 2014. Member cities make a commitment to providing easy access to resources for military service members and for their families. Still ahead on CCX News, an especially busy year for hotel development. We'll show you in which cities coming up next in Business Matters.
Plus, Park Center scores a big win in boys basketball against a big rival. That's later in sports.
But first, a brief warm-up on Tuesday before another cold front arrives in time for the Super Bowl. We'll be right back.
With the Super Bowl in Minneapolis, international attention is on our state.
Yet tourism is a year-round effort in Minnesota. In this week's Business Matters, there's more than a half dozen new hotels in the works here in the Minneapolis Northwest Metro, and they're all aiming to welcome back visitors long after the big game is over.
We're actually in our 32nd year. We represent the cities of Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, and Maple Grove.
At the annual meeting for Minneapolis Northwest Tourism, the story is building.
It's a growing region, and there's a lot of great stuff coming. And there's already a lot of great stuff here.
Highway 610 has paved the way for new business and tourism growth. In Brooklyn Park, 2 new Hilton hotels are rising, a Home2 Suites and a Hampton. They'll open later this year, accommodating some of the newer corporate business that's moved in.
A number of businesses such as like Olympus and Takeda Pharmaceuticals have representatives that come into Brooklyn Park yearly to see the new products, understand what they're selling, and then get trained. We see that with the Target Corporation with their North Campus. So we have a lot of that business traffic, and they're looking for accommodations that are closer.
Brooklyn Park will have 2 additional hotels along 610, though construction dates are not yet set on a new Fairfield Inn and Suites and a yet-to-be-determined hotel. In Brooklyn Center, Marriott plans to build another Fairfield Inn and Suites adjacent to the Embassy Suites and Earl Brown Heritage Center. And Marriott also has building plans this year in Maple Grove for the northeast corner of Elm Creek Boulevard and Hemlock Lane.
It's going to be, as I understand it, a Spring Hill Suites and a Fairfield Suites. It's a combination hotel where essentially they are going to share some services, but then obviously the one will be on one side and the other will be on the other side of the development.
New restaurants and other corporate business development are spurring on new hotels in Maple Grove, adding to the city's 8 existing hotels. And back at the gathering for Minneapolis Northwest Tourism, those new hotels will help accommodate visiting guests that Minnesota would love to bring back permanently.
Tourism is economic development's first date, and so people don't come to the area, move their family here, move their business here without trying us on first.
In Maple Grove alone, the city expects between 2 to 3 million square feet of new development in 2018. Still ahead, a super way during Super Bowl week to combat hunger.
But first, Wayzata continues its winning ways with a big road win in boys basketball. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. It was a showdown for first place in the West Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference. Osseo beat Park Center in boys basketball in overtime on January 3rd. The rematch between these teams took place Friday night on the Pirates' home court. Park Center gets out to an early lead. Levante Parker with a steal and breakaway dunk. And it's a 5-0 Pirates lead. Tommy Chapman drives from out high and scores the layup. The junior scores 14 points in the game. Park Center goes ahead by as many as 9 in the first half. Emmett Page helps lead a comeback for Osseo. He drives and scores 2 of his 15 points there. Anthony Williams comes off a screen and it's open. Chike Okonkwo hits him with the pass. Williams scores 9 first half points. Orioles lead 32-30 at halftime. Early in the second half, it's Johnson Fala to Zach Tyson on the backdoor pass. Tyson with 21 in the game. Orioles go up by as many as 6, but Park Center turns up their defense and running game. Kahari Broadway scoring for 2. Then on the break, it's Chapman to Emmanuel Tamba for 2 more. A 19-3 Pirates scoring run sparks the comeback. Park Center wins 72-58, tying Osseo for first place in the NWSC West. After a 2-3 start to the season, Wayzata's boys basketball team is on a roll, having won 9 of their past 11 games. Friday night, the Trojans on the road playing at Lake Conference rival Minnetonka. Jacob Benega with a 3 for Wayzata hits, and the junior with a huge night scoring. Keaton Heidi, nice bounce pass to Connor Hale. He scores for a 9-4 Trojans lead. Jalen Deering on the break for Minnetonka. He gets the basket and foul here. Andy Stafford leads another skipper's break. He'll take it himself, and it's a 20-15 Minnetonka lead. Benega goes behind the back, shakes the defender, and scores for the Trojans. 28 points in the game for him. Luke Paulson with a catch-and-shoot three-pointer, and Wayzata goes on a run. Benega, another nice drive, hits a tough shot, cutting the Minnetonka lead to 31-29. Deering answers with a 3 from Minnetonka. Wayzata, though, will rally in the second half, and they win this game over Minnetonka 78-74. The Wayzata girls are down 19-0. The Trojans beat Minnetonka 65-47. Annika Stewart, one of 3 Wayzata players to score in double figures. She netted 21 points. The Trojans play at Edina on Friday. The Maranatha Christian Academy girls basketball team has played in the past 8 state tournaments. The Mustangs have also racked up some impressive regular season accomplishments. They shot for their 100th straight conference win in the MCAA Saturday night, facing Lester Prairie Holy Trinity. Brianna Smeested gets the Mustangs going with that early three-pointer. That's Jacqueline Jarnett stepping in for the steal. She takes it the rest away, and it's a 6-point MCA lead. Jarnett misses on this next one, but Kay Barth Lofton grabs the offensive rebound, scores, and is fouled. It's an 8-point Mustangs lead. The Leicester Prairie's number 11, Marissa Radke. It's a long three-pointer. It's a buzzer beater at the end of the first half. And the Bulldogs are within 2 at 32-30. Maranatha, though, never gives up the lead in the second half. Kayla Jo Davis in position there for an offensive rebound and hoop. Maranatha up by 11. Jarnott gets the Mustangs out running again, hits Davis for another 2. They outscore the Bulldogs 46-25 in the second half. Jarnott there with another steal and lays in 2 more, 27 in the game for the senior. In the closing seconds, the home fans ready with signs. Maranatha wins 78-55, the 100th straight win in the MCAA Conference. True Team state championships were on the line for the top boys swimming and diving teams in Class A over the weekend. Congratulations to Breck Blake. The Bearstangs won the Class A True Team meet. St. Thomas Academy is second, followed by Northfield and then Sartell St. Stephen. Daniel Barra of Breck Blake wins the 100 butterfly. Anderson Brazil won the 100 backstroke. And Breck Blake's 200-yard medley relay team also won its race. And that is all for sports. Alex and Mike, back to you.
All right, John, thanks a lot, and we'll be right back.
And finally, a local preschool is taking a different approach to the Super Bowl by helping to combat hunger.
Although the Super Bowl only happens one time a year, hunger is a daily issue for some families. That's why Goddard Preschools have partnered with Hy-Vee for a local Super Bowl food drive, SOUP, S-O-U-P. Hy-Vee will match every food donation that Goddard raised last week. The goal is to collect enough donations to span an entire football field.
They all think that everybody lives the way they live, and so for them to understand the fact that there's this great big event coming to Minnesota, and that part is very exciting, but then to also tie it into the children that don't have everything that they have, it's just a great segue for them to learn more about their community.
What I want to do and instill with my kids is making sure that they know that giving to other people is a priority, and know that we have benefits in our family, but that sharing and giving is just as important of a benefit as well.
The students aren't just donating. The hunger problem has even been included in their curriculum this Super Bowl season, as Goddard teaches kids how important it is to give back. Lifetime lesson. Right?
Great lesson, that's right.
That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Tuesday, starting at 4 o'clock.